Hi, this is Matthew again to talk about another old-time radio app. Vintage Radio, it's called, from vintageradioshows.com, which, gosh, I've been subscribing to that, 2010 or 11? Something like that. I'm not even sure exactly. I started on the website. The app came later. And I had the free app, but didn't realize that it was connected to it. Figured out that it was, and then he had a pay app, which then just became the main app. You could do free and pay in it, but I'll do that in a second. It is a website that has all kinds of old-time radio shows on it. I don't know if all of them are public domain. I think most of them, I think, probably are. So I think pretty much most OTR is, but there's all kinds of free ones that you can listen to. You can't download them, of course, computer or mobile end. But they also have you can log in to it, of course. You can, of course, then subscribe to it. It's always been $7.99. It's never changed the entire time I've used it. It has never changed prices for some reason. He keeps it that price, which is cool. His name is the guy who's running. His name is Mike Morrison. I don't know when it started. It's been going longer than I've been on it. I'm not sure when it started for sure. There's not like an about page. The website also has like TV shows on it that you can watch of different kinds that are kind of old-time radio related, or like 50s. There's all kinds of different shows on there as well on the website. So it's nice to have both. As I said, I have paid for the thing forever, ever and ever and ever. As far as the app goes, which I was going to talk about, just let me explain a little bit how it worked. You have the app, and you can. It's free to download. I said you can optionally subscribe to it. There's a thing near the top where you can subscribe. It's kind of hard to find. You might not see it at first, but you can log in, and it says you've done it. And I find you have to close the app out. Then it will that login part will disappear because you're logged into it. Because there are several different shows, like especially in suspense, others I think that you can't use the free app for. It will say you have to subscribe. You can't play them. They're like dimmed out with voiceover, I think it is, if I remember right. But if you subscribe, then or you log in, if you have a subscription or whatever, you could get to them. I don't know the list or anything about them. He does add shows. The website, you can look at what the new shows are. There's not like a new shows area of this that I know about. The first thing you find is the genre. That's the first tab. It's all organized by genre. That's why I just tend to go look at whatever shows there are. I think you can search. I know on the website you can definitely search. I don't think there's a search on the app that I recall. I was just kind of looking at it. I don't remember seeing a search option there. The website for sure does. The other thing is you could search vintageradioshows.com and make sure it's there. Then you go look in the app for it. Another tab, though, is shows. You can really go by shows, and it will just list the shows alphabetically. I know genres, you can reorder them if you want. I don't think you can with the shows. Then there are playlists is the third tab. They're all at the bottom of the screen, by the way. That you can go in and like download shows and make playlists of them, I think. I think that you actually can make your own playlist. I never do that. I'm not a playlist guy most of the time, so be good for like long trips if you want to download a whole bunch of things and play them. You could just have different shows, or you can just have a one-time list of stuff that you can just play it back to back or whatever, or shuffle it or whatever. And it will play them. And then there's just downloads, which is the last tab, which is anything you download. When you play a show, it will download it. So it could fill your phone up if you're not careful, which I almost did without realizing it. I had my brother look and figure out why my space was gone, and that was why. As I had forgotten that it downloaded them. It plays them so fast, and you don't think about it. It's doing it in the background. You don't even know that you've downloaded a whole bunch of episodes. There. Oh, I missed it. I did miss a tab. I think before downloads. I think featured is. I think before downloads. That's just different. There's like westerns. There's like Law and Order stuff. Shows like that. There's what's it called, Bone Chillers, which is kind of horror. But I used to go into the was it daily featured daily, something like that. It's like the daily things that were airing that day, the day that the current day of the that you're on, and that was fun to go through. It did start repeating after a year of me doing this, and so I stopped doing it. But there's some neat stuff in there if you just go the daily list, and it's like he picks like higher quality episodes to feature in some of these things. That way you can kind of know what's there, what sounds good. The neatest one though is the Magic Island. It was a serial in 1937 about people that get lost on this island with this crazy scientist guy who makes, I think, pretty believable inventions, even though it's been that long ago. I can so believe that these things can happen, at least in my head. They're the best quality I've ever heard. They are all taken from the transcription disc, the actual records that they were on, and they sound amazing. Even though it's an MP3 file, they sound incredible. And there's little like stuff at the end that you might not have heard on other dramas, and they're in order. I know some places like maybe they don't have them all, they skip them, or they're in the wrong sequence because they're labeled wrong or something. But these are all in order, and it's great. Frontier Town's that way too. I think there's maybe a couple that weren't that way that he has. Does he have every show? Probably not, but he's got a lot of it. You can always go on archive.org and try to figure out the ones he doesn't have, and maybe you can hear those or something. But he has a lot, and they're good quality most of the time. Obviously, he has some that aren't, but he has a lot. He tries to get as good a quality as he can find places. Not sure where all he goes, but to get his material. But yeah, all of them do have the vintageradio.com stuff at the end of them. Be aware of that. There's like a little watermarky thing at the end. I guess the way you know where it came from. Yeah, lots of good stuff. All your, Shadow Gunsmoke, Dragnet, things like Abbott Costello and Fergie and Molly, and all kinds of stuff. Dimension X, X-1, Superman's there. All kinds of Green Hornet. There's some Green Hornets. There's even some British shows from the BBC, in fact, that are also on here, which probably aren't quite public domain, but I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, there are some BBC productions. There's Orbit Zero, and there's some different things. There's all those serialized shows, all your detective stuff. Your Boston Blackie and Night Beat, and all those things are there. Maybe some things you might not have ever heard of. Your some family theater and all those things are there in some degree. And different things. Suspense, of course. When you go to the shows, each one, there's a year heading that will show the ones that he has for that year. Some will say unknown year, and I think they're at the top if the year isn't known, and then it goes down from there. So for some reason, he doesn't have a year on some of them. I know there's places you can look that up. You might have to go online and search out the show to see where those fit on maybe like archive.org or something like that to find them. But yeah, it's a neat place. I've had it forever. I don't always use it, but I do sometimes. I wonder if he's got such and such. show or a certain episode I'm trying to find, and he's pretty much got it. It's rare that he would not have it. So give it a look. It's a neat place. It's been around for a long time. I've used it for 13, 14 years or more now. So sometimes it's fun just to go see if he has a show. And I have when you download them, you get to download them all of them individually, but it's very fast. What I pulled was usually not huge. Magic Island was kind of big. Most shows were like 100 episodes or less that I've pulled from him. Just because I knew they were like some of those serialized like sci-fi shows and stuff I knew were complete, and he did. Yeah, or Zero, I think, was missing an episode. He was able to find it, and I think he found some better quality episodes for it. So you can email him. You can call too. I think his number is still there. I have it on my phone. I was trying to get him some stuff. It never quite worked out, but I have talked to him about trying to find shows or like something that was missing, or maybe it wasn't as good a quality, and he's a way to you can find something else that's better quality, that's better sounding or whatever. He'll try to find them. But it's a very, very neat app, though. I had it for a long time. As I said, there's a bunch of free stuff. There is some pay. Things you have to subscribe to hear them. But most things aren't that way. Most shows you're not going to find that happening. So, of course, it's always something. If you do subscribe, and you don't like it, you can always not pay for it. I would give it a look if you do need to find something that's not there. You can always subscribe for a month and listen to it and cancel or whatever. So, but I've had it for a long, long, long time. I know at one point there was an FTP part. I never really used that. I don't know what that. I think it's kind of restrictive. You have to buy so much a month or something. I don't know. It used to be different, and I don't use that. That's on the website. There's lots of stuff on the website you might go look at that aren't in the app. I forget all the links specifically, but there are definitely advantages to having the website and the app. So again, it's Vintage Radio from vintageradioshows.com. Just search for Vintage Radio in the app stores. I don't know if it's on Android. I know it's on iPhone. I don't know if he does any Android development. He might not. But you can always use the website if you just can't find it or whatever. The website works on mobile and non-mobile devices very, very well. It's very accessible. Works great. I've never had a problem with it. Just seems to run like a charm. I think he's. I don't know if it's running on a Mac. I know. I heard a Mac one time when he was trying to play something. I heard him back when the Mac made that volume noise that it no longer makes. He's definitely a Mac guy, for sure, at least in some way. Yeah, vintageradioshows.com is the website. Lots of things there, as I said, and then the Vintage Radio app to kind of complement it. Or if you just want to pull up something and don't want to go to a website to find it, you can use them both. For old-time radio shows, I've used it a lot over the years at different times. Yeah, it's a great one. If you do want to log in there, you might have to go and find it. I actually had to call him when he first launched that. I couldn't find it. I don't know what I did, but I found it. It seems to have moved to that top part of the screen. I'm not sure how I even found it. I didn't find it the first time. I just happened to come across it again lately. I had to redo my phone and did something weird, and it stopped working. I had to redo my phone, and I forgot I hadn't logged in. And so I was trying to find that, and I thought maybe it had retained my login. It didn't. I did find it. It says, like, want more, login here, and you put your next screen opens up. It's your username and password from the Vintage Radio website. You log in. It says it worked. As I said, it doesn't show up right away. I had to relaunch the app, and that section disappeared because I had logged in. But why it didn't the first time, I don't know. I like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, why aren't you working? And I thought, hey, just close it out and open it back up. And that's what I did, and it worked. So as far as I can tell, I'm logged in. It doesn't indicate you're logged in, but I'm pretty sure I am. But I'm not sure how I can tell. But that part has disappeared, so I would assume I'm logged in. There's no way to tell for whatever reason. I don't know when the app last had when its last version was, but it's very stable. So if you'd like OTR, and to wrap it up, just give it a look. Again, Vintage Radio, vintageradioshows.com is the website. Good stuff. I think that'll do it for now. I will get this going, and I will see you guys in another video.